I'm kind of on a Disney rampage by talking about 2 MCU movies and then going over to Star Wars. I know people have reviewed all these movies, but I still want to give my intake. Yes, so I'll be talking about the worst Star Wars movie ever created. Yes, even worse than these. Give episode 1 and 2 some credit. They at least felt like Star Wars movies. And the Christmas episode is so bad it's laughable, while The Last Jedi is just painfully bad. The only aspect I can applaud for The Last Jedi is having incredible special effects, but that should just be a given. Special effects are icing on the cake. It should not be in the main spotlight. It should not be the main reason for you to go see a movie. But without further ado, this is The Last Jedi. So the movie begins like any other typical Star Wars movie with rebels fighting the Empire, and then we see a friendly face, Poe, from The Force Awakens. He plans to blow up the Dreadnought despite that mission going against orders, but not before he delivers a wacky and fun prank call.
This is Hux. You and your friends are doomed. We will wipe your filth from the galaxy.
Okay, I'll hold.
Hello?
Hello? Yep, I'm still here.
Now, I do believe it was at this point I realized that the script for this movie is going to be utter garbage. Now, Star Wars movies usually have cringe-inducing dialogue, but not as forced as this. See, this movie's trying to be MCU movies where they include comedic scenes to kind of show that they're not taking themselves too seriously in the movies. Now, that doesn't really work with Star Wars because it's a lot darker than MCU movies. Not to say this movie shouldn't try and be funny, but it should have comedic routines where it kind of fits in the universe. I never thought I'd hear a Your Mama joke in a Star Wars movie, but now I have and it kind of fucking pisses me off.
I believe he's tooling with you, sir.
About his mother.
So the Dreadnought gets destroyed and then we see Finn from The Force Awakens wake up. We then cut to Rey handing Luke his lightsaber like we saw in the last movie, but Luke throws a lightsaber over his back, and the subverting expectation memes start. Listen, I am all for unexpectedness because it has potential to create originality, but not when it's out of character. Besides Last Jedi, another example of this concept being used horribly is the movie Devil by M. Night Shyamalan. 5 people are in an elevator and it seems one of them is the devil killing each and every other person in the elevator, and it turns out the devil is the old lady. No one expected this to happen, but that doesn't automatically make it good writing. There is no foreshadowing, there's nothing building up to this. Just because we don't see it coming doesn't make it automatically good. I mean, Luke could whip out his dick and reveal a second lightsaber, that doesn't make it good writing just because I didn't expect it to happen. It'd be really fucking funny, but still bad. Luke throwing the lightsaber is there for a cheap gag, it's out of character and it's only there for being a joke. That's incredibly insulting to the character.
How did you find me?
Long story, we'll tell you on the Falcon.
Falcon. Wait. Where's Han?
Really? Instead of showing Luke having an emotional reaction, you just jump to the next scene? Sure, why not? It was only his best friend. His death doesn't mean shit. No, instead we have to focus more screen time on nameless Asians and Ewok turds.
I've given everything I have to you. To the dark side. Take that ridiculous thing off. You're just a child. In a mask.
Aren't you the one who picked that mask? Aren't you the one who chose this child? I think your anger is pointed in the wrong direction. You're the dumbass who made all those dumbass choices. Now, many people may hate this scene because it's completely pointless and utterly disgusting. And it also replaced the scene of Luke mourning over Han's death, his best friend. But this is actually very powerful symbolism. See, Luke is Disney as a corporation, the milk represents flowing cash, and that fat fuck is the Star Wars franchise. Rian Johnson truly is a genius. So we cut back to the Resistance being followed by the Empire. The Empire blows up the main hangar, and of course, only the main characters survive. So they just now turn on the ray shields only after the main hangar blew up. And Kylo debates whether or not he should kill his own mother. So, Superwoman flies back to the ship, and this raises a lot of questions. Not Leia having the Force, no, these flaws are so big, it doesn't matter that this new discovery is happening in this movie. Let's see, how did she wake up? How did she not suffocate in the abyss of space? How did the rest of the group not get sucked into space when they opened the door to let Leia inside the ship? Well, just like how retard Johnson constantly fiddles with who Rey's parents are, we get no fucking answers. One piece of fan service later, and Luke decides he should train Rey.
Admiral Akbar, all our leadership, they're gone.
Now, this may be a crazy idea, but maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't have all of your vital soldiers in one area on the ship. Especially not in an area not protected by the ray shields. Dumbasses. We're then introduced to Admiral Hodor, or Holdo, whatever the fuck her name is, who likes to fight in combat with a dress. Yeah, real smart. She's a snarky, strong, independent woman who needs no man in her life.
Captain, Commander, you can call me whatever you like. I just want to know what's going on.
Of course you do. I understand. I've dealt with plenty of trigger-happy flyboys like you.
Or maybe she's just a bitch. I mean, all your subordinate did was ask a very simple and reasonable question, and you respond in a very childish manner. Yeah, so she's supposed to be a famous admiral. Yeah, okay. Also, great job on the editing, guys. I can totally tell that wasn't an ad-lib dub.
I've dealt with plenty of trigger-happy flyboys like you.
We are then introduced to the worst character in all of fiction, Rose. I fucking hate Rose. So Rose gets butthurt that her sister's dead, and then she gets butthurt when she sees Flynn flee from the ship. Hey, does anyone else remember in Empire Strikes Back when Han Solo had the option to leave the Resistance? Because of his heroic actions, do the same rules not apply to Finn? And here we also have really bad editing. In the first snippet of Finn getting shocked, we see a blue light and Finn bending over. And right after, he's standing up straight, and there's no blue light. Great job on the editing, guys.
Is it because I'm black?
Alright, so Finn and Rose figure out that there's some sort of code breaker that can help them defeat Snoke's ship. So they ask this orange turd for some help.
Oh my, it sounds like this codebreaker fellow can do everything.
Oh yes, he can.
Thank you, movie, for putting the image of this little orange shit having sex. Go fuck yourself. As Luke continues to train Rey, we get a bit of foreshadowing that Rey might be turning towards the dark side. Remember this scene. Alright, so we get a bunch of scenes of Rey and Kylo being connected with each other through the Force. And to give this movie some credit, Adam Driver is probably the best actor in this film. Oh, and don't get me wrong, the character is written horribly, but Adam Driver is actually trying to make this a good character. Unfortunately, he was given a horrible script, so he's got to work with what he's got. I would give the award of Best Actor in this film to Mark Hamill, but he clearly does not give a shit.
Who is this guy? How did the most optimistic, hopeful character in the galaxy turn into this hermit who says it's time for the Jedi to end? I read that and I said, what? No matter how this comes out, if I'm wonderful, it's because of him. And if it's terrible, it's also his fault.
What's on that?
He's badmouthed this movie enough for me to be convinced that he didn't put any effort into this trash film. He didn't want to. Can't really blame him, honestly, but at least I get some enjoyment from seeing Adam Driver act like a young Alan Rickman. That's pretty much all this garbage movie has to offer.
Okay, we get in, we find this code breaker, we get out.
You know this town? Canto Bight?
From stories. It's a terrible place filled with the worst people in the galaxy.
Great.
Yeah, the 1%. Real subtle, Disney. I can't be the only one who finds it pretty ironic that a multi-billionaire corporation is telling me that rich people are the devil.
Here's a good idea. Have a point. It makes it so much more interesting for the listener.
Aren't you guys just thrilled that this scene made it in the movie? I'm pretty sure without it, the story would be nothing. So Rose babbles about how slavery is bad and how war is bad. Yet another necessary scene to the plot.
Oh, yes.
This place is great.
Okay.
I should show that black man how painful slavery can truly be. Wait. So while Rey flings her lightsaber around like some goddamn 2-year-old with Tourette's, she accidentally knocks over the supplies of the aliens who live on the island. Well, this calls for an apology, or you could just be a huge bitch and ignore them. Finn and Rose get locked up and, coincidentally, meet another codebreaker in the cell, and they make their escape.
Yeah, man.
Wow, these must be the worst guards ever. First, the guard gets overpowered by coins, despite having a gun in his hand, and his helmet can't even protect him from a rubber boot. The richest planet in the galaxy, and they can't even afford competent guards. So Finn and Rose escape while causing thousands of dollars in damage, and you might think that's a good thing because these two are sticking it back to the rich, but allow me to give you a moment to realize who has to clean up that mess.
Your parents threw you away like garbage.
They didn't.
They did. But you can't stop needing them. It's your greatest weakness. Looking for them everywhere. In Han Solo, now in Skywalker.
What? There have been like zero signs of Rey seeing Han and Luke as father figures. And how is that a weakness? The Resistance needed Han, and now they need Luke. So it's not like her selfishness is getting in the way of the Rebels' goals, unlike a certain someone else. Anyways, Kylo reveals that Luke tried to kill him, and Luke justifies this because he sensed evil in Kylo. Yep, the guy who saw good in the most evil man in the galaxy's first reaction is, I'm gonna kill this kid because he might be dangerous. Good one, Johnson. So Ghost Yoda shows up and uses the Force to blow up old Jedi texts in history. Yep, dead Jedi can use the Force now. And the movie shows no limitation, so I'm gonna have to assume he's invincible. Might as well just throw him up in space and destroy Snoke's ship. I don't see why the fuck not.
Yes, yes, yes. Wisdom they held, but that library contained nothing that the girl Rey does not already possess.
Actually, she doesn't. Rey doesn't know shit about the wise teachings of Jedi. Alright, so Yoda's main moral here is that failure is the best teacher. Fine, but why is he telling this to Luke? Out of everyone there, he should know this. He failed countless times in the original trilogy and still got up. So yes, Luke is learning the same lesson he learned in the original trilogy. Basically, we're watching a watered-down version of good movies, and people always claim this movie did something different. Luke is learning the same shit he already knows. This whole fucking scene is pointless. Next scene, we cut to the Codebreaker telling Finn and dipshit McGee that not all rebels are good guys. In fact, they might be just as bad as the Empire at some points. You know, for some reason, this moral sounds very familiar. Oh yeah, we saw this in Rogue One. God damn it, can this movie produce at least one original idea?
Tell us that we have a plan, that there's hope.
When I served under Leia,
Lady, shut the fuck up. He's not even asking whether you should explain your plan or not. He just wants to know if there even is one. How the hell is this person an admiral? She's incredibly incompetent.
Abandoning ship? Is that's what you got? That's what you brought us to? Coward!
No, wait. I want to see how hammy this performance can get.
No, you are not just a coward. You are a traitor.
Get this man off my bridge.
Did anyone else just get "may I speak to your manager" vibes from her? Shockingly enough, this leads Poe to start a mutiny. Finn and Rose get aboard the Dreadnought, and Rey gets captured by Kylo. But then Brienne of Tarth captures Rose and Finn, which means they failed to stop the Dreadnought, which also means the entire casino plot was 100% pointless. Well, not the first time this movie showed me a bunch of pointless shit, so why should I be disappointed? Leia wakes up, Poe gets knocked out, and Horde Doors is in charge again.
Now, time to board your transport.
For the transports to escape, someone needs to stay behind and pilot the cruiser.
Well, that's true. I mean, a handy-dandy droid would be a good choice for the...
May the Force be with you, always.
Or you could just kill yourself. Oh, why am I complaining? I have no objections to this.
Holdo knew the First Order was tracking our big ship. They're not monitoring for little transports. She was more interested in protecting the light than she was seeming like a hero.
Okay, I know this movie's trying to develop Poe, but you failed massively. Withdrawing information from your subordinates isn't heroic. She had absolutely no reason to hide her plans from anyone. Surprise, surprise, the Codebreaker is a traitor, and he decides to backstab the Resistance. And unfortunately, this hinders Holdo's retarded plan.
I cannot be betrayed. I cannot be beaten. I see his mind. I see his every intent.
Merry Mary Sue and Emo Fuck join forces and we get a fight scene almost on par with Black Panther's final fight scene. The fact that Snoke's henchmen are putting up a better fight than Snoke himself is pretty sad. Honestly, there's an entire video on why this scene is utter shit, so I'll just move on.
Join me.
Surprise, surprise, Rey says no. The one time I wanted this movie to subvert my expectations, it goes a cliched route of good guy resists dark side. Remember that scene I told you to remember? Well, that scene was supposed to be built up and foreshadowing for this scene, to show Rey does have temptations. And they just completely ignore it. Outrageous. So Holdo sacrifices her life, and we're supposed to be sad, I guess. But unfortunately, her act of sacrificing her life has actually saved Rose from execution, so now I hate Holdo even more. Thankfully, Brienne of Tarth comes in, and these idiots are at gunpoint. Now all she has to do is shoot Rose, and she'll be fucking dead. Fucking goddamn it. You are so lame. This has got to be the most worthless character in all of fiction. So, Finn fights Phasm, even though the Stormtrooper in the turret could easily shoot Finn.
That's because this is a battle of honor, you idiot.
Yeah, that's why the Stormtrooper right here comes up and tries to kill Finn, so I don't think that's the case.
You're a bug in the system. Let's go, Chrome Dome.
So Gwendolyn Christie gets wasted as an actress, but she's honestly too good for this movie, so whatever. So we hear two actors say what happened.
What happened?
What happened?
Beautiful screenwriting. Finn and Rose meet back with the Resistance. They find out the Imperials are loading up a cannon to break down the fortress's door and decide to fight back.
Salt.
I'm just here to remind the audience that this isn't Hoth, even though the whole damn scene looks like a shot-for-shot remake. Also, how useful are ground troopers going to be against the ships? Not very, I'd assume.
Rose, you got 3 right behind you!
Well, would you look at that? We might actually get a happy ending after all.
I can't lose him!
God damn it.
I like this!
Woohoo, I just went through emotional trauma, but because I'm a strong woman, I can easily forget about all that and shoot evil Nazi troopers with perfect aim. After Mary Sue giggles about her perfection, we get one of the worst cinematic scenes I have ever seen. Finn is about to go out like a badass. After completing his character arc, he's gonna sacrifice his life to save the Resistance, thus concluding a perfect send-off for this character. Well, naturally, this movie hates good ideas, so they have Rose save Finn and doom the Resistance. Unbelievable. I mean, the opportunity was literally gift-wrapped for you. Why make the stupidest choice you could make?
I saved you. Tell me. That's how we're gonna win. Not fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
Yeah, I'm sure the power of love is also going to be super useful against a giant fucking laser cannon. By the way, were you saving what you loved by shooting at Imperial soldiers in the hangar bay? You guys have no idea how much I loathe this character. Alright, I'm wrapping it up. Luke comes out of fucking nowhere. Rey lifts a bunch of rocks without any training. Hell, she even knew what the Force was until hours ago, but now she can use it better than anyone else. With one hand, no less. Luke dies like a fucking idiot. Yeah, that's how I want the main character from the original trilogy to die. Sitting on his fat ass doing nothing. So, for whatever reason, everyone's like celebrating and super happy, even though they just lost 99% of their forces. You would think this would have more of a Empire Strikes Back type of ending. Whatever, at least Rose is dead. Oh, god damn it. Didn't this dumb bimbo nearly jeopardize the mission? Why are you bringing her along? Alright, credits roll, the movie's over, it's done. I'm done. This movie fucking sucks. I'm not doing a conclusion, this movie doesn't deserve it, I'm done.